Welcome. In this session, we are going to take a look at how to set up an assignment. The assignment activity provides a simple way for you to provide a task for students to complete before a given deadline, collect work from students, and assign grades. Typical assignments can include essays, projects, and reports. Students can submit any sort of electronic file such as PowerPoint, Word, MP3, or Adobe PDF in response to an assignment, or input their answer directly using the built-in HTML editor on the eLearning platform. Instructors can also issue a grade for the assignment. To create an assignment, first enable editing by clicking on Turn Editing on here. Next, select Add Activity or Resource at the button of the section that you want to add the assignment activity to. Select Assignment from the Add an Activity or Resource pop-up menu to open the assignment page setting as displayed here. Under the General section in the Assignment Name text box, enter the name of the assignment the way you want it to appear on your course page. Students will access the assignment by clicking on this name. As an example, I am going to type here, PowerPoint Assignment. Under Description, enter a detailed description of the assignment, that is, exactly what you expect the students to do, and how they will be evaluated, inside the description editor. You can use the description editor to format the work nicely. Now, I can put my assignment here. Design a PowerPoint presentation on any topic of your choice making use of animations and transitions. Note that this description will not appear on your course page, unless you enable it by clicking on the checkbox in front of Display Description on Course Page, just below the description. I will leave mine unchecked since I want my students to view this assignment description only after clicking on the assignment link on the course page. You can also use the Additional Files section to attach the assignment, if it is in a file format such as PDF, Word, PowerPoint, and other formats, by uploading the file there. Under the Availability section, use the Allow Submission from pull-down lists to set the date when students are allowed to start submitting their assignments. You can also set the final date for assignment submissions using the Due Date pull-down lists. The Cutoff Date pull-down lists can also be used to set the date when it should stop accepting submissions from students. You can also use the Remind Me to Grade By to set reminder notifications to mark and grade the assignment. To disable either of these dates above, click the Enable checkbox beside them to toggle between enabling and disabling it. By default, under the submission types, the system is set to accept only file submission in PowerPoint, Word, MP3, and Adobe PDF formats, but you can also enable online text where students can type their submission directly into a text editor. Mahara Portfolio can also be enabled to allow students to be able to submit Mahara pages. For the maximum number of uploaded files, you can specify the number of files each student can upload for the submission. For the accepted file types, you can click on Choose to select the file type that you want to accept as a submission for this assignment. I want to accept .ppt files, so I will choose Presentation Files from here. But assuming I were to give students the chance to type their answers, I could have clicked on the Online Text checkbox and specified the word limit here. Under the feedback types, you can use these feedback options to enable what feedback types students would receive after the assignment is submitted and/or graded. Feedback comments can be used for leaving a comment on each submission. The Annotate PDF can be used to create annotated PDF files when marking assignments. This offline grading worksheet can also be used to enable you to download and upload students' grade worksheets when marking. And then the feedback files will enable you to upload feedback with files when marking assignments. The comments inline, if enabled or set to yes, will mean that the submission text will be copied into the feedback comment field during grading, making it easier to comment inline by using a different color, or to edit the original text. Next is the submission settings. You can use the Set Require Students to click the Submit button to yes or no. This allows students to click on the Submit button in order to declare their submission as final. The Require that students accept the submission statement can also be set to yes or no to allow students to accept a submission statement for all assignments submission. You can also use Additional Attempts to give students additional attempts. That is, in case they fail to meet the pass mark for the assignment. The group submission settings can be used to specify whether students can submit in groups or not. If students submit in groups is enabled or set to yes, students will be divided into groups based on the default set of groups or a custom grouping. A group submission will be shared among group members, and all members of the group will see any change made by a group member to the submission. But I will leave it no. Next is the notifications section. Here, the notify graders about submissions can be set to yes or no, which will determine whether or not an instructor will receive a message for every submission made by students. This notify graders about late submissions option will also allow you to receive a message whenever a student submits an assignment late. Last under this section is the default setting for notify students. By default, this is set to yes, so that students will be notified of their submission, which is the recommended way. But you can set it to no, to deny students from receiving a message after their submission. Next is the grade section. Under the grade type, you can set the grading format for grading your students. If scale is chosen, you can then choose the scale from the sub drop-down menu. You can also choose point grading, and then enter the maximum grade available from this activity sub drop-down. If you will not be evaluating the assignment, you can then select none. For the grading method, you can choose the simple direct grading method, which is the default grading mechanism. The grade category controls the category in which this activity's grades are placed in the gradebook. With the grade to pass, this can be used to set the minimum pass grade for the assignment. Setting the anonymous submissions to yes will enable students hide their identity when submitting the assignment. The hide grader identity from student, also if set to yes, will hide the identity of the lecturer or instructor who marked the assignments submitted by the students. Use marking workflow. If this is set to yes, marks will go through a series of workflow stages before being released to students. This allows for multiple rounds of marking, and allows marks to be released to all students at the same time. For the common module settings, restrict access, activity completion, tags, and competencies sections, they have already been explained in the video on how to set up a quiz activity. So you can refer to that video. Finally, let's save our assignment activity by clicking on either Save and Return to Course or Save and Display depending on what you want. I will choose to save and display because I want to see how it will preview. After this process, a link to the assignment will appear on the course page, made visible to all students who have been assigned to the course on the course page, as seen here. In the next video, we will be looking at how to grade assignment submissions.